How important is long-term health for you? You must be wondering why I'm asking you this question. Next, how important is the long-term financial health of your business? Did you see that coming? Yes, long-term health is very important, whether it's your own health or the financial health of your business. The problem is most hotel managers do not think financial health of their business is very important. I hope you're not one of them. You're, of course, wanting to know what I'm talking about. Well, I'm talking about the hotel balance sheet. Let's see how it looks like. We are going to take a look at this Paradise Hotel balance sheet and understand its most important components. Well, you see, most hotel managers are familiar with the profit and loss statement, which they look at every month. But when it comes to the balance sheet, they really are not very keen on looking at it. In a way, it looks like you are not very particular about the long-term health of your hotel business. I hope not. But let's see why that is so important. In this ultimate guide, I will introduce you to this very powerful financial statement and get to know why it is important to understand the financial health of your business all the time. Welcome to this ultimate guide on hotel balance sheet basics. Don't worry, it's going to be simple with no jargon, non-technical as they call it, and easy for you to understand. More particularly, it's going to be a visual guide, and so easier for you to understand what this financial statement is all about. Let's go. This is the balance sheet of Paradise Hotel. This is the financial statement I was talking about, and we are going to take a look at this closely. At least we are going to look at its most important parts. The hotel balance sheet has predominantly three parts to it. The first part contains the assets. We'll come to assets very shortly. The second part is about liabilities, and we will visit liabilities as well. And the third and last part is about owner equity. Now, you may be wondering what these assets, liabilities, and owner equity represent. Well, they represent something very important to your business. Remember the long-term financial health that I talked about? Well, the assets are what the business owns. As you can see, that is marked by the alphabet A. The liabilities and the owner equity represent what the business owes and are denoted by the alphabets L and E. So as you can see, A equals L plus E means assets equal liabilities plus owner equity. This, in financial terms or actually accounting terms, is known as the fundamental accounting equation. Don't worry, we're not going to be accountants, but it's important to understand what assets, liabilities, and owner equity stand for. I would urge you to watch all the way to the end of the video because I'll be sharing with you three secret strategies that will make you understand the balance sheet 10 times faster and retain it longer. You would want that, right? And that's a promise. And so here is the balance sheet of Paradise Hotel. Let's look at the annotation number 1. And we are going to understand the relationship between the hotel balance sheet and another very important financial statement, which hotel managers are more familiar with, the profit and loss statement. And what is this relationship? Well, the balance sheet shows you the financial position at a point of time. Note in this Paradise Hotel balance sheet, the financial statement, the balance sheet, is as at 31st December 2019 and 2018. So it's on the last day of the years 2019 and 2018. How is it different from the income statement? Well, the income statement tends to show the performance for a period. And we will see how this works in the ultimate guide on the income statement, which is also known as the profit and loss statement. Number two, the block which we saw earlier is about the assets of Paradise Hotel. Let's take a closer look at it. As you can see, the first subcategory in assets are current assets. You can see cash, short-term investments, accounts receivable, inventories, prepaid expenses. These are all current assets. Current assets are assets whose life is within one financial year, or what we could say is they get used up or converted into cash within one financial year. And then you can see the total of the current assets there. The next category of assets are investments. Investments are monies placed by Paradise Hotel on real estate or equity stocks in order to earn a return on investment. Next type of asset, and a very important one at that, is property and equipment. As you can see, the three categories here are land, buildings, furniture, and equipment. Buildings particularly represent the guest rooms of the hotel, which actually produce the room revenue. So property and equipment are long-term assets compared to current assets, which are short-term assets. A related concept is depreciation, which we will see in a later video on the ultimate guide to hotel profit and loss statement. A total for the net property and equipment, which is the property and equipment cost less accumulated depreciation, terms we will understand in a later video. Next comes other assets like operating equipment, and finally total assets, which is, if you remember, the earlier slide was all about what the business owns. So total assets represent what the business owns. Number three on this Paradise Hotel balance sheet are liabilities. And as you can see, just like current assets, you have current liabilities. Current liabilities are those claims or obligations that Paradise Hotel must pay within a financial year. And you can see the subcategories as accounts payable, accrued income taxes, accrued expenses, and something called the current portion of long-term debt. We will go into more detail in later videos when we describe current liabilities and a total for current liabilities. Next comes long-term debt. Long-term debt basically are loans taken by Paradise Hotel. If you remember, in an earlier slide, we talked about what the business owes. Well, long-term debt along with current liabilities are what the business owes. The subcategories, as you can see in long-term debt, are mortgage payable and deferred income taxes. This is followed by a total for long-term debt. And then comes the total liabilities. Total liabilities represent what the business owes, as we mentioned earlier. Let's get into the section 4 of Paradise Hotel's balance sheet. Section 4 is about owner equity. Owner equity is also something that the business owes. And as you can see, the subcategories represent common stock, paid in capital, and retained earnings, all of which we will see in a later video. This is followed by a total for the owner's equity, and then comes the total for both liabilities and owner's equity, which, to repeat, are what the business owes. Getting into number 5. Number 5 is actually total current assets, assets which show short-term solvency and liquidity. So total current assets are on the one hand and total current liabilities on the other. Number 6 is about net property and equipment, which we saw earlier, which is the cost of property and equipment and deducting accumulated depreciation from it. Finally, number 7 represents the total assets. If you remember, this is what the business owns. And on the other hand, This is balanced by the total liabilities and owner equity, which represent what the business owes. And if you remember, what the business owns and what the business owes are part of the fundamental accounting equation. So that was the ultimate guide on hotel balance sheet basics. Remember, I promised you three secret strategies relating to the balance sheet. Well, here they come. Number one, keep an eye on your current assets. They represent short term finance, a very important part of running the hotel operation. Strategy two, everything is about revenue. So keep an eye on fixed assets, which represent the biggest chunk of revenue opportunities. And finally, strategy three, you would want to ensure that you are meeting your liabilities or payment obligations on time. So there you go. Three strategies that are directly related to your hotel balance sheet. If you like this video, subscribe to the Profits Masterclass channel for future videos directly to your inbox, and get to rid yourself of damaging myths about financial statements.